Hi there, it's Tyler from ElectricShaverGuide.com, and here we're doing a quick comparison review of two Panasonic shavers, the ES LA93 K and the ES 8249S. You can find the full detailed reviews of both these shavers at ElectricShaverGuide.com, but here this is more intended for someone that's looking for a foil shaver, particularly one that you can use wet over the sink with some shaving cream, but you might be a bit torn between going with the newer, more powerful model or sticking with the older model and saving a bit of money. So we'll put these shavers head to head, talk about some of the differences, some of the pros and cons, and hopefully by the end of the review you'll be able to find and choose the right shaver for you. Let's look at the shaving design and some of the shaving specs, and I thought first we'd look at what is still the same with both the shavers and what some of the improvements are. You can see that the general design and layout of both shavers is very similar, just the ES LA93K is a bit larger. See that on the back, the pop-up trimmers, generally the same thing, good side burden trimmer. The displays are both the same, so when you turn it on, you'll see it tells you how long you used it for and the remaining battery life, and that's basically the same for the ES LA93K, how long you used it for and the remaining battery life. And the shaving surface is also the same. You'd think that with the ES LA93K it does have a larger head, but when you line them up, the shaving surface area is essentially the same, and it's a bit of an illusion. I thought that just looking at it that it would have a larger shaving surface area, but you can see that clearly the blades are basically the same as well. So those are some of the similarities among the 8249S and moving up to the ES LA93K. So the first main improvement with the ES LA93K is the motor size. It's 14,000 revolutions per minute over 13,000 revolutions per minute in the ES 8249S. So not a huge difference there, but certainly the new model is more powerful. The other difference is within the shaving head. You can see it pivots side to side and up and down. So 360-degree pivoting motion in the newer model, where the older model just has a pivoting action which goes side to side, so there's no back and forth motion. So those are the two main differences with the newer ES LA93K over the older ES 8249S. One final point, I did notice that removing and putting the foil cap back on is a bit easier with the newer model. Slipping it off, nice and easy, and when you put the foil cap back on, click it back into place. So that's important because you're probably going to take off the foil cap quite often to clean it manually. And just a bit of an improvement with the older model. You just had to be careful that you put it on nice and straight and you didn't interfere with the blades when you put the cap back on, whereas this one you really don't have to worry about that. Just click it back on and you're good to go. You can see that the cleaning stations for both the Panasonic ES 8249S and the Panasonic ES LA93K are essentially the same, so there's not a big improvement with the new ES LA93K. They both require you to fill up a water jug that is mixed with the Panasonic cleaning cartridges, and the cartridges for the ES 8249S are the same cartridges used for the ES LA93K, so not a huge improvement there with the cleaning station. For the shaving test, you can see I've got about 2 days worth of growth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shave the right side of my face with the Panasonic ES 8249S, and I'm going to shave the left side of my face with the Panasonic ES LA93K. So we'll put both these shavers to the test, see if there's a big difference in terms of shaving performance. So you can see I shaved the right side of my face, went over the areas quite a few times, nice and smooth, good finish with the Panasonic ES A249S. Okay, so I just finished shaving the left side of my face with the Panasonic ES LA93 K. Overall, really good shave, nice and smooth. So I just finished shaving with both shavers, and in terms of shaving performance, I'm going to have to give it to the Panasonic ES LA93 K over the Panasonic ES A249S. Essentially, the right side of my face is just as smooth as the left side of my face, but it took me about 2 minutes to shave with the newer model, and it took me about 3 minutes to shave with the older model. So the shaver's faster, it's more powerful, and essentially that's going to give you better shaves at the end of the day. With the older model, you're just going to have to go over certain areas a few more times, and what that might do for some people is produce a bit more irritation. So I would say if you have very thick facial hair, you're probably going to want to go with the more powerful model. If your facial hair is not too thick, you can probably get away with using the older model. So overall, shaving performance is going to have to go to the Panasonic ES LA93 K. The other thing we spoke about were the cleaning stations, and essentially there isn't a big improvement from the older model to the newer model. So what you might want to do is just get these razors without their cleaning stations if you want to save a bit of money. Personally, I like the cleaning stations. I think they're worth a little bit extra expense, but of course you can just get the Panasonic ES LA93 which is just the razor. And for the older model, you can drop down to the 3-bladed Panasonic ES 8103, so that's just the razor without the cleaning station. Of course, if budget is a big concern for you, then you might want to go with the older model. The newer model is essentially a bit more expensive, but it does produce better shaves. One thing we didn't touch on today was the wet shaving experience, and I've done it, and I would have to say that it is the same outcome. This one does perform a bit better, a bit faster. With the older model, you're just going to have to go over certain areas a few more times, similar to the dry shaving experience. So whatever shaver you do choose, I do hope that you do get good results, and like always, you can visit electricshaverguide.com for more shaver reviews.